What is up, everybody? It is I, the JUICEman3941, coming at you with an episode of the Gaming Round Table, brought to you by Unpaid Gamers on YouTube. Please give us a like and a subscribe, and please subscribe to the Gaming Round Table. This episode is episode 15, is called Anthem and the Problem. Now, I would love to play Anthem while talking about this. The problem with playing Anthem is, there's a lot going on. Combat, flying around, zipping around. I would be easily distracted while I'm playing, and it would be too many pauses and gaps in what I'm going to try to talk about when it comes to this game. I want to preface this that the day one patch did come out. A lot of the problems were fixed. The tomb missions were fixed. I reached level 10 today, and I already have 2 tombs already done. Before I even reached level 10, and they actually told me, challenge you, you got those 2, so that was kind of cool. Since I'm at that part of the game, which is, I played for about 4 hours today. The game did crash twice, and then it also, like while I was trying to load into an expedition, it kept saying this is private, so I already was getting into full servers or full matches, and it would kick me back out to the title screen. This happened about 4 times today. Other than that, like for the 3 hours that I was playing, 3.5, Anthem ran fine, ran beautifully, no problems. I think I did get 2 infinite loading screens also throughout the time, and as soon as I seen the bar stop moving, I just reset it, boom, went right back in, no problem. So it's, again, there is still some of those janky bugs, but it's Anthem, and it's to be expected with a live service game. One of the things that I see is an occurring and reoccurring problem with Anthem in general is that BioWare is a company that is known to bring us single-player, narrative-focused adventure RPGs. Knights of the Old Republic, amazing Star Wars game. Even now, it holds up. Which you can get on Xbox 360 and Xbox One, I think, for $9.99. They made Mass Effect Trilogy, and yes, the ending was fucked, but they did patch that ending, and you get to see, and it's a lot better than it was. They made Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, Dragon Age 2, much like Mass Effect 2, was more focused on an action RPG style and less on, and more of a self-contained story. Dragon Age Inquisition was kind of a love letter to the fans, and that game is phenomenal. BioWare has consistently shown us single-player, narrative-focused games. That is what most people expect them to make. In the marketing and promotion of Anthem, they have basically stated in the marketing promotion before Anthem it was going to be an online-centric focused, massive multiplayer online focused looter shooter with these ability to fly around in this open area, and it's incredibly different than any other game they make. Yes, you do talk to people, and they give you a couple choices, left or right choices, if you want to call it that, L1, R1. It's not like Paragon or any of that kind of stuff. It doesn't really affect the story or even the way characters treat you so much. And a lot of people are, first of all, shitting on the game for that. Number one, again, BioWare never stated that Anthem was going to be a single-player focused, narrative-focused, with conversation wheel and all that other stuff. They never stated that. That is you, YouTube. That's you, gaming community. That is you expecting that's how that the Anthem was going to be that type of game. And it wasn't. And the fact that BioWare came out and stated this, that it wasn't going to be a narrative-focused game, and yet you still expected it, shows that either A, you didn't do your homework when you do these negative reviews, or B, you simply chose to not believe that and just hope that it was going to be like Mass Effect, but with the flying around in javelins. The last game they put out that was single-player narrative focused was Mass Effect Andromeda, which a lot of people shit on that too. There was things they didn't like, and the two things they mainly didn't like was the a little bit wonky animations, and then the faces. They didn't look as good as they are known for. No glossy eyes, no like that kind of thing. And everybody made a million memes about my face is tired. Well, you know, they fixed all that with literally within a week. Like, a patch was out, and Mass Effect Andromeda still had amazing gameplay, good world building, great music, good combat, you know, good exploration, you know, and I end up liking a lot of the characters, including my own. It wasn't Shepard, obviously, and it wasn't Garrus or Rex or any of the people that we've been playing the same game with, and I embraced the new people. I did not care that I was not playing as Shepard. Most people, I think, still shit on the game because they weren't playing as Shepard. I've said that in previous videos. I still believe that to this day, that most of y'all were just completely butthurt by not being able to play Commander Shepard. You just couldn't embrace Ryder. You couldn't embrace the new characters. You just, none of that. But back to Anthem and the problem here on episode 15 of the Gaming Roundtable. And if you are, like me, you are sipping with a little beer in the throat. It actually hurts because I've got a sore throat. The thing is about Anthem, this problem, there's so much negativity. I was watching a video just a few minutes ago. I think it's SNRT or whatever. He makes so many valid points and talks about SkillUp's video on Anthem review and how SkillUp compared Anthem to Mass Effect, to Dragon Age, to KOTOR, and all the games. It's like he expected the game to be that way. Again, SkillUp, no offense to you at all. You have a great channel. You're very informed. But you're not, apparently you never paid attention to BioWare's press or marketing at all when they said they weren't making a single player narrative-centric focused game. This is going to be an online game. Another thing, too, that really kind of, and not that I'm jumping on BioWare, it does suck that I ran into those problems with the game. You know what? You know what's crashed way worse on me and had more crippling bugs? Fallout 76. Fallout 76 has crashed on me to date 23 times. I've literally checkmarked it every time I did in a little notebook when I came across that. Not only that, if it froze, you know, enemies just stood still while I shoot them. I mean, Fallout 76 is far worse than anything Anthem has done. But another problem that I'm seeing with Anthem is that people were talking about the end game on YouTube and how there didn't seem like there was a whole lot of content there, you know, and you kind of compared it to Destiny and saying how Destiny's got all this content now and blah 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 blah. This is literally like Destiny's 3 years old and they've had the time to add more content and do more content. Destiny 1 at launch, and I think I said this in an earlier video, at launch had one raid for months. It had 4 strikes for months. You had some bounties you had to complete. You had every Tuesday, whatever reset, you would go do them and then you were done. And you would do the nightfall once a week. But you literally had very little to do in the game for months and months and months and months and months. And then, of course, Crota came out, and again, easy to get through. Crota's story was so easy to get to. I mean, now, since Taken King came out and they rehashed all this stuff, you know, it did get better. And Destiny is a better game at the end. The only thing that they suffer from is, no matter, you know, once you reach max power level, 650, and once Destiny reaches, no matter what weapons you get in the end game, they all have that same power number. So, like, people who are playing it right now, they're acting like they're trying to get their characters to get better. Your character can't get any better. You're at 650. All the weapons you have, regardless of whatever combination, you have whatever damage you're doing. You can't get any better. Why you're still playing it, I don't know. Because you're literally playing it just to play it. You can't get any better. in the game, nor can you get any better weapons. I know people who have literally every exotic at the highest level, at masterworked all the way out, and a bunch of legendaries, and they're still playing it as if like it's going to make a difference in their character. It's not. But I digress. Anthem is a live service game, such marketed and promoted for that. And BioWare, as SRNT or SNRT, whatever they were called, pointed out, they are allowed, and it really was eye-opening, they are allowed to make whatever game they fucking feel like it. They are not obligated to give us a single-player narrative adventure, action RPG, whatever. They can make whatever game they feel like. And much as like Bungie, we should give them a little bit of a pass on this one, because BioWare has never made a game like Anthem. Ever. There's a lot involved, a lot of mechanics and different things that go on. Anthem is so different from Mass Effect. It's so different from Jade Empire. It's so different from Dragon Age Inquisition. It's so different than those games that we know and that we've come to love. It's so different. BioWare, to my knowledge, has never done anything in first person. It's always been third person, or isometric if you go way back to Baldur's Gate. They've never done that before. Not only that, you know, people talk about how they walk around Tarsus and everything seems quiet and lifeless, and I give them that a little, because it does kind of seem like, man, it seems like there should be busier and things going on, but another thing is they're saying that, like, you know, they don't really care for the voice acting, or they think that characters you don't seem to care about them. I will say this, that you're wrong about that. The voice acting is superb. It is very well done, especially all the main people that you talk to. Owen, your first guy, he's animated. He has emotion in his face. All the characters, your former friends that you meet, that's out in the wild on a Strider, and he's the guy that's limping, and begins with the letter R. I don't remember his name is Rook or whatever the hell. He's still mad at you for pulling us out from the battle, and he wanted to stay fighting when it's like you're going to fight 4 giant titans at the beginning of the game, and it's like there's no way, and he's mad at you about it, and he can't pilot a javelin no more because his leg got broke or destroyed, whatever. It's just, the characters have a really, really good voice acting and subtleties when they're talking to you. Like, I paid attention to the story. I feel like the story is good, you know. A lot of people, Skill-Up said that he felt that the Monitor was trying too hard to be basically a Thanos, but he was one-dimensional. And I don't agree with that. And the reason I agree with that is because Dominion have a completely opposite way of thinking. They're a very militant kind of organization that feel like the Anthem creation should be used to dominate. And the Monitor, yes, it's interesting the way that they presented him. Is he at all like Thanos? A little. In his, not necessarily his voice, but in the way that he does articulate words and the way things are with him. He's an interesting villain, because he was there at the cataclysmic event and at the beginning, and he survived, and he looks cool. He looks really, really cool, and I like him as a villain because, you know, he bothers to, he has this commanding kind of presence about him without being like an atypical, you know, villain. You know, he's just not, you know. Sovereign was a machine, and it was voice acted well, but it was still just a fucking Reaper that you end up just blowing the shit out of at the end of the Citadel. I never felt that Sovereign was even a threat. Saren was a great villain in Mass Effect, except you prove that he did all this stuff really early on. He gets unceremoniously all his power stripped away. You don't run into Saren again till way late in the game, where you have to make the decision where Ashley or Kaiden dies. and then you chase him off. And then the funny thing is during that battle, my character, my shepherd, like basically like murked his entire health bar, but you know, the cutscene had to happen. Like he's a pushover. Saren is a pushover at the end of the game, even when Sovereign brings him back to life, and it's like he's still a pushover. He's not a threat, barely does any damage to you in a game with the normal difficulty. I thought Saren had a good voice. He was well voice acted, but his character I never felt was 100% fleshed out. And Monitor's character is interesting because there's lore about it, and I like the less is more subtle approach to his villainous kind of things. Even when he hacks into your javelin during one story mission, and he overrides Owen, and he's talking to you, and your character's mad about your character's angry, and it's just like, yeah, you know, you want who can't talk, go talk to your lieutenants, and he's just like, and he's so calm all the time, like you can't really rattle his chain. And I like that. He's a very cool and calculated villain. It's just nice to see that. And yes, is he kind of like Thanos in some ways? But he's not one-dimensional, you know. And I disagree with the one-dimensional thing. But the Anthem and the problem I'm talking about is that too many people just think that the game was going to basically be a loot shooter online thing, but also a big story, narrative driven game. And again, I want to point this out for those who will watch this video, and I hope you send this video to Skill Up and others. BioWare never, ever, and I mean not one time, ever stated or promoted the game or marketed the game as that type of game. They marketed it and promoted it and said it's a multiplayer centric focused online looter shooter where you fly around and blow shit up essentially. There's a story, but it's not necessarily like what you would expect from us. And to say that this is not a atypical BioWare game, when BioWare freely admits that, and for you all in the YouTube videos who make this negative comments and negative stuff to still think that's how it was supposed to be, after they just said in the promotion and marketing of it before the game came out, it wouldn't be that. You guys are idiots. If they say it's not going to be this, why would you think they were lying? They were lying. They were false marketing the game. You know, that's against the law. You can't false advertise. No, they weren't lying. I mean, I heard about the game and I heard about what it was doing. I thought that was cool. And the reason I thought that was cool is for once, we're not getting the same old from BioWare. We're not getting what they normally make. And they've never made anything like this. So for them to have the game playable and running like 90% decent for the most part, and to have fun with it is great, you know. So people need to cut them some slack. It's just Destiny is a MMO light looter shooter based in a hub-based style, open world style. They don't normally make games like that, which is why it took them a long time to get that down. They have a better understanding of what they were trying to do now. But back then, they didn't, and people shit on it then. And it's really sad that it's the same people went back and started playing it again and love it. And it's just Anthems, and the problem is not Anthem. The problem is you, the gamer, expecting them as a company to give you what you're used to playing, just like SRNT has said or whatever. You expected them to give you what you're used to playing. But why would you expect that when they actually stated they weren't doing that? That's what blows my mind. That you all literally thought that they were just going to give us exactly what we're used to. I knew they weren't going to. It also goes back to Watchford episodes that I had done called Acceptance. and how gamers out there, especially nowadays, they just can't accept the game for what it is. They think the game should be one way in their mind by watching videos coming out about it before the game launches, by reading articles and going on Reddit and doing all this stuff, and you build it up in your head that this is how the game is supposed to be, and then the game isn't that, and then you're like immediately take a shit on it and dive on it and everything else. I like Anthem. I liked the mission structure. I like going out into the open world. I'm playing Colossus or Storm. I just unlocked Storm. Playing the Colossus, which was, to me, I didn't think I was going to start out with that, but I enjoyed the gameplay and the demo so much that was my first Javelin choice. Immediately colored it like a Hulkbuster armor and just having a ball. And I got a really cool legendary marksman rifle that has these really cool designs on it. It looks cool. I don't even know where I got it or how I got it, but I got it doing a mission, and I just love the game. Like, I love that sense of flying around. The Colossus feels powerful, and they improved all the gameplay of the Colossus and did some things. They've improved the game in the day one patch. They're going to continue to make improvements, and you guys have got to quit with this negative shit. Just accept the game for what it is, not what you think it should be. That just drives me crazy, that you all making a game that you just think BioWare should always give us the same exact game because that's what you want. BioWare doesn't have to do that. Bungie does not have to do that. Bethesda doesn't have to do that. Activision doesn't have to do that. People were angry about the spacefaring adventures of Infinite Warfare on Call of Duty, right? They don't have to give us fucking boots on the ground if they don't want to. That's what you all want. And we got boots on the ground. And look how that turned out. We got World War II, it was pretty fun. Except, again, the sales were down from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And we got Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which was... Look out, they lied about that game. Here's a $50 season pass. We're not going to put microtransactions in the game. And then they added them later, after the fact, after reviews, and after their investors said $500 million that we made off the game was not enough. Not enough. It didn't cost them $500 million to make. They just really didn't want to make more. They want those old school numbers. And then they added that microtransaction shit back in. And it's just sad. So, I just want to point out that none of these game companies are obligated to make the game that we want them to make. They're not. They're not under contract with us. They're not. And if you are playing Anthem, or you are thinking about playing Anthem, forget the whole old BioWare style game. This is something they wanted to do. And I'm going to tell you, it's a good thing. And the reason it's also a good thing is because the other problem is that if they would have given us a single-player game where you could fly Anthem, but it was basically conversation wheels, and you can, have sex with aliens or whatever the fuck, like Mass Effect. If it was Mass Effect in Anthem's world with the javelins, you could fly around and it's single-player, you would probably shit all over it too. You would say whatever the fuck wrong that you have with it, and it wouldn't have been the same. It just would not have been the same. It would not have been... It's a game that... Anthem is a multiplayer-centric focused looter shooter. That's what it is. End of story. It's in the same bin as The Division. It's in the same bin as Destiny. It's in the same bin as Borderlands. It's any of those shooters that are first person or third person that you shoot, loot, and go do stuff. And to say that Anthem is repetitive really pisses me off, because every game is repetitive. Destiny is so fucking repetitive, where you go on there and then you go to your map and you hit the L2 button, you see all the shit you gotta do. Okay, I gotta do X events on IO, or X events on Nessus, or a Titan, or on the Earth, and I gotta go to the EDZ, then I gotta go do this, and I gotta take this bounty, then I go back to here, and then now I gotta do the Crucible thing, where I gotta get my Crucible thing in, and I gotta win 2 matches or whatever the fuck, and then I gotta do, it's literally every day, it's the same fucking shit. Do a Gambit thing, do a Crucible thing, do a Strike, do the Nightfall, do the Raid, and then do whatever thing on the planet, and then you're fucking done. And then you go to bed and you get up, and guess what? You log back in. Oh, now I'm doing the shit on Titan. I'm doing the same shit over. Oh, but the raid's only available once a week. You're doing the same fucking thing over again. That is because of the roleplay aspect. You're grinding for gear. You have to do these things over and over and over again. That is the nature of the game. All games, every game it's very repetitive when it comes to that. Look at Monster Hunter World. Look at God Eater 3 or Token 2. 3 games I absolutely love. And I've already said I own every Monster Hunter style or genre game there is on the PS4. Take a mission, you go kill a bunch of stuff, you get their parts, you come back, you craft better gear, you go back out, do a mission. That's the entire game. There might be some story here and there and juxtaposition, but ultimately the hook is out in the world, kill creatures, take parts, come back, craft better gear, go back out in the world, fight tougher creatures, get their parts, craft gear. That's the entirety of the game. Monster Hunter, if you look at the way that it is, and you go out and fight monster after monster after monster, starting with the Kaluaku or the Jaggies or whatever the fuck. You are literally the Great Jaggerus. It's like Great Jaggerus, and then you fight the Kaluaku, then you fight the Puka, and then you fight the Anjanath, and it just continuously scales as you play the game. But ultimately, you are doing one long, giant 20-hour mission. That's all you're doing. Loot, make better equipment, go fight bigger monster. Now I got its parts, make better equipment, go fight a monster that's even tougher. That's the entire fucking game. And Monster Hunter's story is so fucking weak because the characters' lips are not even synced properly. They sprout. I mean, there's almost no. The only thing that literally, is this elder dragon, the Zora Magdaros, has gone to the island to die. That's all it wants to do. And you're just trying to drive it off the island, and it dies in the ocean. You literally, the whole story can be summed up in literally 3 missions, and that's the entire fucking story. It's nothing. It's a 15-minute fucking story. But no one ever bitches about it, But people are bitching about Anthem's story. Oh, there's no story. There is a story there. Listen to the fucking people talk. Everybody has a background, a backstory, even your character. And that's endemic of the problem, is that YouTuber people out there, they expect what they expect, and when somebody gives them something different, they're like, well, fuck this game, shit on this game, negative. You know what? Don't buy the motherfucker, okay? You are in no position to buy it. You don't have to. And if you're buying it because you have a channel that's devoted to gaming and you gotta do reviews or whatever the fuck, then, and you buy it and you dislike the game, go take it back. Go trade it into GameStop for $30. PC, you got it off Steam. Steam has got a great refund policy. You don't even have to play it. It can be out of sight and out of mind. And the saddest part about this, and none of you YouTubers who are putting out all this negative shit will ever admit, and you won't admit this, is the fact that while you could do that, you won't. You will continue to play the game even though it's bad, because that's what everyone's playing right now, until at least the Division 2 comes out, which you'll just bitch about that game too. So it's just a whole cycle of, this is your entire channel is devoted to basically fucking over games. I'm going to point this out, and I'm going to leave you with this thought. Gamers and YouTube community out there, and whoever else watching this video, please send this to Young Yao. Please send this video to Skill Up, and all these to Quartering, Angry Joe, everybody. I'm going to leave you with these thoughts. You know, it pains me to think that all this negative stuff has impacted the game. Not only did reviews come out before the patch, and BioWare said there'll be a day one patch, but it won't be available until X on the 20th, and that's when we're going to launch it, so everyone gets one, because they saw the problems and immediately try to fix and rectify those problems. That's good for them. You probably shit on them for that too. Most games take weeks. They did it in a few days. If the game fails to make the money, you know what's going to happen. They work for EA. Visceral, Mythic, a variety of companies, Maxis, were shut down by them, and all those people were let go. And that means if BioWare fails at Anthem, and you all had something to do with it because you can't accept the game and you have an expectation, all the stuff I'm talking about, it's you. You cost those people their jobs. And you can pat yourself on the back for it. Yay, BioWare didn't give me the game that I wanted to play. They didn't make Anthem like Mass Effect. They don't have to. You will be directly and indirectly the cause of their demise. And EA will close that studio, and we will never see another KOTOR. We'll never see another Dragon Age. We'll never see another Mass Effect. We'll never see anything again from that company, because they will be gone. And that will be your all's fault. And I'm going to blame some of you all for that, because you all just can't get over yourselves for 5 fucking seconds. This has been episode 15 of the Gaming Roundtable, called Anthem and the Problem, and I hope that you subscribe to the Gaming Roundtable and or subscribe to Unpaid Gamers on YouTube. Stickman pointing, that is Unpaid Gamers. And I want to thank you all. If you all end up watching this video, please feel free to put any comments. Click the like button, hit the thumbs up, whatever you got to do. The Gaming Roundtable is going to jump off here and jump into my javelin and go kick some butt. And I'll see you all on the next episode of the Gaming Roundtable. And as always, gamers, good gaming.